This happened near Granddaddy Lakes in the summer, July 2009. Here goes the sighting reports. I was backpacking with my brother and four nephews at Granddaddy Lake. We were setting up camp, and my brother and I went off to find a tree to hang our food on. We were getting closer to a group of Boy Scouts we had been hearing while setting up camp. My brother was looking into the trees, and I glanced over towards where the Scouts were when I saw something with long white blonde hair that was staring into our camp. It must have been startled by our presence because it took off running extremely fast toward the marsh area. I remember very vividly the hair bouncing as it took long strides. The lack of noise that it made, along with the speed, startled me to the point that I unbuckled my gun holster, concerned for our safety. My brother didn't see what I did because he was too concerned with why I was going for my gun. From the way it was running, I could tell it was on two legs. Although I couldn't see below the shoulders due to the vegetation in the area, I would estimate the height about over 6 feet. The odd thing for me is that I didn't go over to the location to look for footprints, although it was standing in a very wet area. It was bothering me badly to the point that we went over to the scouts camp and asked if anyone in their party had blonde or white hair. None of the scouts had blonde or white hair. Everyone in the party told me I was crazy, but later I found out it was because they were scared and didn't want to think about it. Todd Strong with the BFRO talked to the witness. It was 3 p.m., sunny, clear day, and this is in Todd's report. I talked with the witness, and I am familiar with this location and have camped there several times myself. The area is a popular backpacking location for Boy Scouts and others because of the numerous lakes and the sheer size of the basin. It is very remote and wild, with an elevation over 9,000 feet, with an abundance of deer, elk, and moose. The witness is an experienced outdoorsman and familiar with the Uintas. When he saw the animal, it was standing in a marshy area with reeds growing as high as the animal's shoulders. He saw it from behind as it watched the group of young scouts, maybe even Cub Scouts camping. The animal then realized he was approaching and it ran away into thicker timber that is abundant in the area. It didn't run like a human. The witness described the run as completely silent, with very long strides that were smooth, but leaping between each step. He thought this might have been because of the marshy terrain. It had very long, light-colored hair that flowed from its head and shoulders, and every time it landed on one of its strides, the hair would fly up wildly. It looked much bigger than a human, and he felt a person could not match the speed or stride of the animal. The witness did not see its face, smell any odors, or hear any vocalizations. This next report, I feel like it's relevant because it was also a Boy Scout camp sent to us by Roger. He writes, "Hi folks, I came across your videos and have really enjoyed them. I had an encounter with a Bigfoot in the Uintas in the late 70s. I was face to face with one, 10 feet away. I'd say he was 8 feet tall and standing between two trees behind me. It made no effort to conceal himself. There were 300 scouts at a Boy Scout campfire going on about 100 to 200 yards away. I think it came to watch the show. I'm intrigued by the level of activity you've been able to document. My home is in Salt Lake. I'd be interested in going up the canyons and particularly Rough Hollow for the backpacking alone. Looks like beautiful country. I expect to pack into Kuberant Basin in the Uintas this summer. It's recognized by many as another hot spot. Perhaps you would like to join forces sometimes. I think I would. Clearly, you're outdoor savvy. Best regards, Raj." July 15th, 1994. Location, Bear Scout Camp. The witness wants to remain anonymous. Here's what he says. "We were walking down a trail at night. It was a full moon, or a pretty big one anyhow. There was a stream, and on the other side I saw a hominid. It was walking on 2 feet, easily. Not a bear, not a gorilla, not a chimp, not any ape I'd ever seen. I'm very, very sure on that. It was either a man or a Bigfoot. I don't think it was a man. It doesn't fit very well. I only saw him a few seconds out of the dark shadows under the trees, but it was obvious it was just about 50 to 60 feet across the stream, walking along the bare side of an embankment where it sloped up from the stream bottom. I didn't say anything at first. It was just right there. I assumed the guy in front of me saw it and had taken it into account. We kind of looked to him as the leader, since he was a few years older. Anyway, when he didn't say anything, I began to suspect he didn't see anything. I think he was humming a song and wasn't paying much attention. I was about to speak up when the guy behind me started to say something too. He had heard a noise up ahead. He pointed to where the creature had gone. It walked across the slope and down toward the stream in front of us. There it made a noise above that small stream. It sounded like rock clacking against another, like when you step on a rock and it clocks into one another. So he was worried what the noise was. I was all excited and tried to tell him what I saw. We all got nervous. We yelled, but there was no answer. We were extremely scared. We were working on a merit badge, and the counselors were back at the scout camp. When you see another person up there, you say hi, because they're all fun loving, friendly scouts or scoutmasters. This creature passed very near us, easily in range for a howdy or a hello, but it didn't answer and didn't talk. We backtracked through the meadow we were in at the time into the lodgepole pines at the other end. We sat in the dark till about 1 a.m. We figured the creature went past about 10 p.m. We imagined all sorts of things sneak up on us in the dark. We finally each got big sticks, and Danny got his knife, and we went the rest of the way down the trail to attack anything that moved. We were extremely scared. Let me describe the creature. It was tall, seemed about 6 to 7 feet tall. It was all one dark color. It walked surely and quickly and quietly. I noticed it brush a sapling with its hand as it walked by it. It had a high crown. It was built stoutly in the torso, hips, and thighs. I don't think a person that fat could move so smooth like it did. It also didn't look like a fat person. It seemed proportional, like that was how it was supposed to be. The thighs were wide and went up to a curved large buttock. It just wasn't like a person. It was bigger, but seemed, the only word I can think of, firm fit, not fat, not inhibiting. I'm very methodical, detailed oriented type person. I've loved nature all my life and know what the different animals look like. It was not a bear or an escaped ape. It moved in a distinct way. It sort of twisted its hips to the outline of the thigh and buttock changed. We didn't find any tracks or such. The night we saw it, we were too scared to go looking. The next day we had to do our job, which took all day. It had rained also before we had a chance to look for tracks, and we thought that any tracks would have been washed away. It was on the trail to Baker Lake, which starts at the East Fork of Bear Scout Camp. It was near a stream. It happened at the end of the first grassy meadow after you climb the hill and past the pond, about a mile from camp. There are dozens and dozens of sighting reports in these mountains, and the sightings continue to this day.